what's up, Lamb Dog? Video response to you here on your last one about question and answers. Real quick, want to make a shout out to CEO Unicom. He's been commenting on my videos for a while. Real smart dude. He comments on both the Hashnashi channel and the and mainly now HBR Media because he's into politics. He should probably make videos because a lot of the stuff he says is pretty eloquent and he's sounds like a pretty learned individual. Funny story about that is, guys, I don't know what video he was commenting on. It was a while ago. And thanks a lot, Bus. Take it easy. My wife was reading the comments on the iPad, and sometimes the iPad kind of has small font. And she looks at me and goes, "Who's this CEO Unicorn guy?" And we both laughed because, you know, I don't know why she thought it was unicorn. I'm assuming just because Unicom is not something you generally see, you know, as far as a word. So she thought it was CEO Unicorn. I thought that was pretty funny. And that's a pretty good name if anybody is interested. CEO Unicorn, check it out. Okay, so wow, glad I didn't get on the freeway. Ha 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 ha. So CEO Unicom, which he kind of led me to this, and I went and sat down and watched it, and I think it's a good little tie-in to the discussion we're having. Lamb Dog, if you haven't seen it, go see How Beer Saved the World. It's a documentary, 45 minutes or so. Great little, you know, piece on first the development and then major things that beer had accomplished. Beer was discovered by I believe it's the Mesopotamians, and they were, at the time, hunters and gatherers, and when they took wild barley and put it in a jar, or their holding vessel, and then they went on a hunt or whatever, and they came back, it was a couple days later, and in that time, the fermentation took place, and then they had beer. So, that started the whole thing. It's what caused them to put down roots and begin cultivating barley, and it led to cuneiform, the first language of the world, basically, in a way of tracking their beer production. So, very interesting kind of stuff. It also talks about how in Egypt, the way that they had produced their beer led to them basically intaking tetracycline, which is a really good antibiotic, and it led to, without knowing, many long lives and the productions of the pyramids. Of course, we still had all the other stuff that that ended up killing people, but we the beer is what helped, you know, society become a society. It's funny how, until you really think about it, beer was the spearhead that led to refrigeration, and it led to germ studies. It led to people understanding that germs affect bodies. Very interesting. So in discussion, so if we go back to tie it into the hunter-gatherer versus the agricultural-based lifestyle, you'd have no beer, man. Lamb Dog, you'd have no beer, dude. I think you mentioned you don't drink. Somebody mentioned they don't drink. Anyway, I don't think I could do the hunter-gatherer thing without drinking beer. One of your points you also made, Lamb Dog, was that to have a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, you're not spending a lot of time hunting, or I'm sorry, on in idle or in relax mode. Therefore, you can't get to the baby making. Yes and no. From my understanding, you know, if you've got a tribe, the biggest form of your consumption would come more from the gathering than the hunting. You know, I'm sure you're going to get animals, and maybe I'm wrong. You're going to have a meat-based diet, but in the olden days, both, you know, across the globe, the gatherers were the first line of food, and the hunters were the second line of food. Much more of that going on than the other. So, all right, taking that turn. Jesus. So that's something to think about. Yes, you would have your hunters out on their hunting journeys, but they would, of course, depend mostly on their gathering. And then that comes into, okay, well, so if you start to farm, what does that mean? You're going to need a more stable environment, better tools, so on and so forth, all that good stuff that comes with it. And that's all true. I think, from going back to my first video, I was trying to make the point that even though you're a hunter-gatherer type, I don't know what's going on here, buddies. Are you going or am I going? All right, I'm going. Thanks. Thanks for playing the game. If you are a hunter-gatherer type that you, okay, this is my personal opinion, that you wouldn't be spending as much time with your tools. You wouldn't have really cool implements. You wouldn't be advancing yourself per se. You would be trying to maintain what you had. If you were, you know, using a bow, you'd be building arrows, right? Or you'd be making more strings or having a backup bow. You wouldn't necessarily be pursuing any cultural endeavors. Does that make sense? I'm going somewhere with this, but let me continue. Whereas if you, what is going on? So here, check out this road. It's a kind of cool house. Oh God. I wish, at times like this, I wish I had a 4x4 because I'd just get over this dirt patch and be gone. Or not even 4x4, just a truck. So, you're spending your time, now, okay, look, I think you're going to be baby making no matter what. There will be time for baby making. You will make time. People will make time. And in the course of making the time for the baby making, there will be babies. At some point, and it will take longer than those farming, that's for sure, you will have too many people in your tribe. It happens. It's going to happen. It happened all across the globe. What the hell are we waiting for? So you will make time for baby making. You will have babies at a lower rate than the farmers, but you will have them. And eventually you will meet the capacity of what your tribe can support. Or it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you'll just keep growing and growing and growing. At some point, you will have to have... Good God, man. I just got stopped. At some point, you will have to have a, what am I looking for? Oh, I'm sorry. At some point, you will have to have a reckoning where your actual land mass that you're on, the niche of area, is not going to be able to support your hunter-gatherer lifestyle. It will not take a week, it will not take months even, it'll take a course of years. And what will happen is you will hunt and gather in one area, and then you'll move to the next, and then you'll hunt and gather in that area, and you'll move to the next, and so on and so forth. Eventually, you will find that as more people are doing what you're doing, which they will, you will get a smaller and smaller area. Say farming is not even possible. Say farming is not even possible, and you just have a hunter-gatherers, that's all it is. Talk what do you call it? Pre-Indian, or I'm sorry, American, Native American times. You will still have a situation where your subsistence with the land, just making it happen, life happen, you will get to a point where you will hit the ceiling. You'll not be able to add people back in. You'll have a number, and it will be relatively finite. And it'll fluctuate up and down. But you can only maintain so much life, as it were, with that hunter-gatherer existence. Which is true. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Which is completely true. I think. That's a fact. So, something to think about. Now, whoa, okay. Got hit by a tractor. I'm not going back that way. Now, I started talking about the cultural efforts. So you're spending your time hunting and gathering, and you're basically sustaining your hunting tools and your gathering tools, and that's your first line. Your second line, which is your cultural endeavors, you're not really going to have time for your cultural endeavors. So if you're a harmonica player, you're not going to be playing harmonica like myself. If I was hunting and gathering, I'd take a harmonica with me, and I wouldn't be able to play it. And if it broke, I certainly wouldn't have a stable area to repair it, or, you know, whatever. I'm rambling a bit, but I think you get the message. How long is this video? It's about 10 minutes, right on. So go check out How Beer Saved the World. I think that alone makes a pretty good case for why we need society, needs agricultural society. I guess I'm gonna be with digital. I hope digital doesn't mind a loudmouth like myself joining his farm. All right, take it easy, Lamb Dog, and everybody else. Bye.